Welcome back to Love Sex LA Unfiltered. And I am so excited for this episode today because I have one of my greatest best friends in here. And we're going to be unpacking if the guy you like, the guy you're dating, the guy you have a crush on, if he would make the cut. We're going to be using reality dating show criteria to decide if you should cut or cast the guy in your life. Because today I have my friend Cheech, well, Chelsea, but she goes by Cheech to us, right?
Yes.
And she is a reality TV producer.
Casting producer
For dating shows. Like some of your favorite dating shows you see on TV, she is the casting genius behind it. And today she's going to teach us some of the dating criteria, the casting criteria for how she casts the men in these shows and how we can apply it to our real dating life and decide how we cast the right guy into our dating life. Welcome, Cheech.
Yay.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Be here.
We're having our dirty martinis. Should we do a little cheers? Cheers, girl.
We love it.
Cheers.
For the girls.
Gays
and nays.
Okay. So just a little background. Like I said, Cheech is a casting producer. We're here in LA. And she does a lot of dating shows.
A lot.
We can't name names. NDAs, right, Cheech?
NDAs, baby, NDAs.
But, okay, so Cheech and I met, just a little background. Cheech and I met when I was down bad after a guy. I was down bad, and my sister submitted me to a dating show. Like I said, we're not naming names. And Cheech, I didn't get a guy out of the show, but I did get a Cheech, okay? Mm-hmm. And, like, that's even better, right?
Fantastic. We did.
Love it.
We bonded.
We did. That was what we got out of it. I love it. So now we're, like, best friends, and, you know, she still helps me when I'm down bad. She's seen it all.
I've seen everything.
She's seen it all.
The nitty-gritty. The nitty-gritty to dating in LA.
Literally.
Oy.
You've seen it all, and you've seen me at my lows and my highs. Mostly the lows.
Ditto. Duality of friendship.
Anyway, okay, so usually I start off with a game called Date or Ghost, but today we're going to do a game called Cut or Cast, where I give you a scenario, and based on that scenario, you say if a person should cut or cast that person.
Okay.
Okay?
In real life?
In real life.
Okay.
All right, you ready for it?
Let's rock and roll.
Okay. First one. He says he's mid-divorce but still wears the ring.
Cut. If he's mid-divorce, if he's still wearing the ring, that means he's still attached to the past. You know, he's not ready for any sort of commitment or any sort of connection. Cut.
We cut. Although you saw when I cast that one time.
Oh my God. Cut.
But what if he's not wearing the ring? What if he says he's mid-divorce but doesn't wear the ring?
I think actions speak louder than words, and also check the tagged photos, babes. Check the tagged photos.
Yeah, it goes down in the tags.
But also at the same time, it's all about effort and intention.
Yeah.
Men know their intention. They know it. We gaslight ourselves into thinking that they don't. Men know when they want to make you their girlfriend. Men know when they want to take you out on a date. Men know when they want to have sex. They are intentional. They are intentional creatures.
Yes. And you know what? I always say you can't confuse attention with intention. They're two separate things.
Yes.
Right?
It's very true.
Right?
That's very true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty of loving the attention.
Me too. We do it for the plot. We do it for the attention.
And the plot can get messy.
Right? That's why we're here.
I know.
That's why we're here. Okay, so we're cutting him. Okay, only FaceTimes you from the car, never at home.
If you're in LA, I understand. However, safety first. I would say cut. Mainly because what are you hiding? I find it a little sus. If you're FaceTiming on lunch break or anything like that, that's fantastic. Great. You're FaceTiming me during the day. But if it's at night, you're stepping away from something that's private, that's intimate. After a certain time, you're home. You're relaxing. You're unwinding. Why are you in your car at 9 p.m.?
Exactly.
So I would say cut for me. I also don't like FaceTime, but
I know you don't even like FaceTiming me. I feel like
that's a lie. Sometimes I'll stare at the phone and I'll be like, God, my attention.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we cut. I think we're cutting the FaceTimer from the car. Okay. His roommate is his ex, but he says it's chill and like they're just nothing there. They don't even communicate.
cut. If you've been in me and we live together, there's not there's tendency for a late night sesh
Right?
of anything.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sit on the couch with somebody and not think of past.
Yeah.
So I would say cut unless you're in the process of moving out. Then I think that's different,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I'm like too territorial though. Like if someone said they live with their ex, I'd
But
be
would
like,
you feel comfortable going over someone's house if they lived with their ex?
That's my point. Like I'm too territorial. I would like absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
No way.
I would say
Okay,
cut.
We're cutting. We're cutting everyone.
God, I'm sorry. We're cutting everyone. This is just personal experience.
Okay. He texts you all day but never books a date.
Keep your options open. I'm going to say cut. Just from personal experience, I think that if people aren't going to make the effort to take it out of the DMs, keep your options open. They're not thinking about future kind of plans, and I think that that's important for you to kind of stand your boundaries and have that, unless you want to take that next step. But if you want to leave it in his court, I think you should probably keep your options open. So I'm gonna say cut.
We're cutting. We're not putting all our eggs in this basket.
No, I would take it more as a friendship then.
Yeah. Right? Because like why don't you want to hang out? Like if you're texting me all day.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're texting me just asking me how my day is, let's do it over coffee or let's do it over a martini.
Exactly. Like this. We love
Yeah.
it. Okay. Okay. He plans the next date before the first one ends.
I would say cast.
For casting.
I would cast. If we were on a date and somebody was planning like, hey, I want to take you to this other restaurant or this bar, or let's go to a museum. My favorite artist is there. Absolutely. He's thinking about the future before the current date ends. However, the ball is going to be in your court, whether you want to take it to that next step, whether you feel the chemistry there, but sometimes experience can lead to chemistry.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Like a slow burn.
Like a slow burn. So I would say cast.
Yeah.
For me.
I did that. So let me tell you. So the first date I went on, the guy started planning the next date on this first date. And I said yes. But like by that second date, I knew he was cut.
Yeah.
It was donezo. I was on FaceTime with you. Remember?
Yeah. Is that the one that I called to pretend I was in the hospital still? Technically, I was in the hospital.
That was a different one. That was the DJ.
I literally was attached to an IV.
That was the DJ. I try to stay away from DJs now.
Yeah.
At least like the low level ones. You know what I mean?
With fake teeth.
Yeah, that was a low point. That was a low point for sure.
We love all fake teeth. Inclusivity is key.
Okay. He still has photos of his ex on his Instagram with like captions that say like always and forever on it.
That doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I would say cast.
Okay.
Mainly because we all have exes. I think it's also kind of not healthy, but I just think it's normal for somebody that has that. It also depends on the date.
Yeah.
I think I would be more like, I mean, I've also archived pictures of my exes because I'm like, he looks like a rat, you know?
You're like embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed. But I don't know. Again, I think I'm more looking at the tagged photos, but it's not a big deal for me. I would say cast. What do you think?
Well, and like maybe it depends too, like how old's the picture, you know?
Yeah, like if it's like from 2017, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, like they
Glow
probably
up.
forgot it's there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to remind them and they're going to take it off.
Yeah, unless like you purposely like it or something like that, you know.
The worst is when you accidentally like it.
I've done that.
I mean, too, and then you have to like delete your account or block them.
Or you look from your burner, all of a sudden they're like, who is Nuns and Buns? You know, like who is this person?
Yeah. These are low points. Or are they high points?
I think they're mid.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. He refuses to get STD testing and says, don't worry, trust me.
No.
Disgusting.
I would say cut, mainly because, like, first of all, you should be protecting yourself at all costs. But I think it's important to get tested or just use protection at least, you know, like, or it just really depends on comfort level. I'm guilty of not doing that, you know, but we've all had our moments.
Yeah.
Especially after
cutting,
a couple
though.
tequila shots, you know, you're just kind of like, oh, wow, titties out, you know, like, but I think it really depends on the situation. It just depends. So I don't know. I would say cut
I would
if
say
he was
cut.
very adamant about not
Yeah.
showing testing or
Yeah.
not wanting to get tested.
Because that's just sketchy.
It's sketch. It's us.
Yeah, it is. We're
Especially
cutting.
if you ask, we're cut.
We're cutting. Okay, he disappears for 5 days and then returns with a text saying crazy week.
We're not that busy. People are chronically online. You can always check your phone. You can always text, be like, hey, I'm having a busy week. I want to catch up later this week. I'd love to take you out. Or let's catch up tonight. I'm free around this time. Would it work? We're chronically online. We're either liking photos, looking at stories. Especially if you're looking at stories, you can text me how my day is.
Right? And it takes like 5 seconds, not even, to send a text.
Yeah. And to be fair, I could do the same thing. But if I do it and you say crazy week,
Yeah.
I would say
ick.
Ick.
But usually, like, I end up loving those
Yellow
people.
flag.
Why is that?
But also at the same time, I agree, where I'm just like, I kind of like my space too, but also I will check in to be like, hey, what's going on? How's your week going?
Yeah. A check-in.
Check-in.
A check-in.
I'm in
Right?
between.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. He says he's not ready for anything serious, but then asks to meet your friends.
No, what's the point?
Right?
Cut.
Cut. We need one of those things. Yeah, literally slates. Yeah. Okay, last one. He says he wants to hang out with you, but only makes plans at his house.
No, it's convenient for him. Cut. Yeah. You're in his space. You're in his territory. And also, it's intentional that it could turn to much more intimate circumstances if you're not comfortable with that yet. Yeah. But I think the convenience for him is kind of one-sided.
Agreed. I think we cut. We cut and we don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So when you are casting these dating shows, do you feel like you're almost like speed dating with people?
Absolutely not. I think people forget how interesting they actually are, and how layered we are as human beings. So for me to not give you the right amount of time to share what your past dating life is like, what's your family life like, what are your hobbies, your interests, because you can really find out a lot about a person, and also at the same time to give somebody 5 minutes to tell you something, you can't really learn a lot about them. The things you feel insignificant to you, they're significant to people that don't experience them. So I think that that's important to kind of have a conversation with them. So casting for dating shows, number one, shout out to all casting producers. Y'all do a great job. I think I don't consider it to be speed dating. I think when you get to know somebody, especially depending on the topic of whatever dating show you're casting, you want to make sure that you're finding the right matches for any potential contestant in your real life and on TV.
Yeah. Totally. Do you feel like, though, like when you're going into this in like these interviews, do you feel like you are on a date with someone in a sense? Like getting to know them?
It's so intimate. It's just so intimate. It's like you have a little kiki with somebody, you know? Like I'm from Jersey. So like when I meet somebody that's like, oh, I'm from Kentucky. I have one stop. I'm like, Kentucky? I'm like, tell me more about that. Like, tell me about your family. You grew up on a cow farm? Amazing. I wish I could grow up on a cow farm, but I watch too much true crime. So it's just like, you find out all of these things about people where it's like, it's amazing, like leave a little room for magic. My job as a casting producer is to magnify your magic. So I think that it's important to give people that time to share, because they don't meet casting producers from LA often, and their idea of us is just kind of like, they want to make me a villain. They want to do this. It's like, no, I want to get to know you so I can make sure that if I'm producing you on TV or if I'm producing a relationship in my real life, I want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time in giving you that respect, you know?
Totally. Yeah, I bet you hear like crazy things too sometimes. Do people like ever just like trauma dump on you during these?
They do, but it's fun, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's
love it.
I love it. I live for it. I've been doing it for 16 years.
Yeah, so you're so good at it.
I don't think there's any such thing as trauma dump, but there's definitely that, people are affected by relationships that they have with people.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he cheated on me or he left me at the altar, and you're just kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But then you meet the version of them that's come out of that trauma where you're just like, you're amazing now. Like, this is amazing. How'd you bring yourself through that?
Yeah.
So I find it interesting because I apply it to my everyday life.
Yeah. For
meeting
sure.
anyone, friendships, relationships, dating.
Yeah. No, 100%. I always say too, like, it's weird. It's not weird. I always say though that like your relationships, your friendships, like even things that you thought were going to break you are the things that shape you and kind of transcend you and catapult you into the next stage of your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I look at myself of when I was married and I think like I was 22.
Yeah, that's
and now I'm
young.
37 and I'm just like I would never recognize that girl than I was now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like your past experiences, your trauma has definitely made you into a completely different person. So it's so interesting to find that out with somebody.
Yeah, totally. And you probably look back too as like you see a different version of yourself. Like, do you ever look back? I do this all the time. I'm like, there's not a single guy I've dated or gone out with that I think I would ever get back together with.
No.
Or give the time of day or entertain again.
Not at all. I think you meet people for that step of your life for you to figure out who you are as a person, to figure out your worth, your value. And I think before you can, as I said before, magnify someone else's magic in a relationship, you have to magnify your own.
Yeah.
And to see, you know, what your value is as a person. We're all worthy of good experiences. We're all worthy of being loved and respected. And, you know, our time is important. So I think it's just definitely important for sure.
Yeah.
When casting and dating.
In real life.
Especially because I'm not dating the people that I find or cast. If I'm dating somebody in real life, like I take more time and effort because I'm my own person. I've been through my own things, and to apply that to a relationship is important. Balance.
Totally. Agreed. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So poetic. Love it. Okay. So talking about casting and, you know, especially for dating shows like we're talking about, is there certain criteria that you as a casting producer seek or consider when you are casting people for these shows that I kind of want to play into like how that criteria can be used in our real life dating lives? So what is like the different criteria that a casting producer looks at when they're casting for a dating show?
Previous relationships, family life, hobbies and interests. What do you like to do? You know, when you're talking about previous relationships or in general, where it's like, what was it with previous relationships? Well, like growth and accountability.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody I'm talking to, dating life or in a show, says they go to therapy, oh my God, green flag. Especially if it's a man. Because it's so hard, and I don't think society allows men to comfortably communicate their emotions and feelings. So I think when a man is taking accountability for his own thing and goes to therapy and kind of starts that process for himself, whether it's dealing with past trauma, family, relationships, or just kind of self-reflection, that is a green flag. Yeah. That is not only attractive, it's so sexy for a guy to be like, okay, well, it is not your responsibility to heal me. I'd rather pay somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Listen to me for an hour. So when a guy does that, that's like top green flag, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think also another thing, talking about family, reading his vibe of what's your family relationship like. It's hard to say family's a red flag because we all come from different families.
Yeah.
We all come from different relationships with families. So that I'm a little bit more lenient on. Where it's like, if you grew up with sisters, that's a green flag.
Yeah.
That I do. I
love that.
I do, mainly because your familiarity breeds ease.
Yeah.
You know, when you're around women, when you grow up with women, when you grow up with sisters, whether they're older or younger, you have a deeper connection to the feminine energy where you're around emotionally elevated people that are able to communicate their emotions. You can pick up nonverbal cues where you're just like, oh, she's pissed right now. Like,
yeah.
You know, so I find that attractive in a sense, not saying growing up with brothers is bad,
right?
But I'm just saying when you grow up with that feminine presence, it's like you understand my predicament. You understand how society views me in general. So I feel like for that, so I love talking to guys that are like, yeah, like I have 2 older sisters. Like they're amazing. Like this is what I grew up with. I'm just like, okay, cool. You vibe with it. You have an understanding of women a little bit, you know? So yeah, I feel like when those are kind of like the main questions, and also hobbies and interests. You want to see what people are interested in because it shows their passion, you know, like do you want somebody who's constantly home all the time or anything like that? Like, how's that going to be in a relationship where it's like, can we do date nights? Can we do this? Like, are you going to take initiative to plan stuff? Not saying being a couch potato is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. But I'm just saying, you know, like talking about these things, these are potential date ideas as well.
Yeah.
You know.
I love it. Those were kind of my next question. So when you're talking to these guys, are there certain things that jump out at you that are like red flags, green flags, or, you know, things that could apply to people's real dating lives, which you were kind of talking about, like basically like, are they in therapy? Like, do they come from, you know, sisters or that kind of thing? Because then they have the experience of living with women and understanding women more and that kind of thing.
Well, I think if it's separate from dating shows, where it's like if I'm applying it to my everyday life, you think of conversation red flags, where it's like if he's constantly interrupting you. This could go both ways, right? We're not just, but I'm talking from observation of my own experiences, so I'm not talking for everybody.
Yeah,
I just want to make that clear. People online could be cruel, but I think it's like, you know, conversation red flags when they're talking about their ex, constantly blaming their ex, where it's just like, my ex was crazy. It's like, okay, but you're not taking accountability for your part that you played in that relationship.
Yeah.
You know, why was your ex acting crazy? People react to a reaction. So those are some questions that kind of stick out for me, especially in my everyday dating life. Because, you know, there's certain curated questions you pick for people.
Right.
Or it's like, you know, when they talk about their family, if there's constant family drama in a sense of like it's not a healthy relationship where it's now carrying over into they're dependent on you to fix that family drama that they have.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I think certain things kind of stand out a little bit more when it comes to casting and then casting your own life type of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like there's things I feel like that intertwine with each other, but also they're separate in their own way.
Yes, very much so.
Oh my gosh. Do you ever like ask, like when you're talking to a guy in like your real dating life, do you ever like ask questions that you ask while you're casting?
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah, like
it's
give
a
it to us.
habit.
Let's hear it.
It's
Let's
just
hear
kind
it.
of like, you know, like what would, you know, just different things in a sense of like, you know, I always have the what if questions where it's like I want to ask somebody what their ideal date is.
Yeah.
Picking dates are important. I think it tells a lot about a person.
I agree.
You know, you have the romance dates where they're like, oh, you know, I like going to a nice dinner, everything like that. You can really tell a person's personality where it's like, okay, they're interested in intimacy in a sense of like they want to have the shared experience with it. So I think certain questions that I ask that stand out where it's just like, you know, what would be your dream date in a sense of like, you know, it's kind of basic stuff. But I think also having the fun questions where it's like, you know, like what would you do if you were in a cornfield for $50 million? You know, like you only had 3 weapons of choice and there were like serial killers around. What would you do?
Yeah.
You know, you kind of hear, like you just kind of hear their random thought
true
process
crime
where it's
coming out.
like, yeah, you know, like, you know, I support every episode of Snapped. Like it's just like, just
funny.
random things, you know, you kind of just have fun with it. So it's not constant questions.
Yeah.
But I think it just depends on the person and the vibe.
Totally. I feel like too, like you have to be so good at reading people to be doing what you're doing.
Oh my God, it's like really quick. So I could clock it real quick.
Yeah.
It's terrible though, but also I think because I was married before,
Yes.
things stand out for me a little bit more.
We'll get into that in a little bit too.
I'm also a Cancer Leo, so
Isn't that funny? You're a Cancer, I'm an Aquarius, which like isn't supposed to be compatible, but we are. But it's the Leo in you, maybe?
probably.
The Leo.
Thank God.
Right. And I have a lot of Capricorn in me.
I love Caps.
You love an earth sign.
I do. I love a good earth sign.
We love an earth sign.
I do.
That's so funny. Okay, let me ask you this. When you're casting people, because I guess this is kind of like, obviously in our dating lives, we consider someone's physical appearance and like our attraction to them in that sense. When you're casting someone for a dating show, do you guys ever consider like someone's physical appearance? Like if someone looks like a fucking labubu, but they have a great personality, like do they still have a shot of getting casted on a show?
Oh, of course.
Because I've dated some labubus, you know what I mean?
I love a good labubu.
I love a labubu.
No, I think
man.
looks don't matter. You know, I'm not saying for every show or anything like that. I've never worked on a show where looks were kind of like a main focus.
Yeah.
I think that you focus on personality. You could be the best looking person in the world, but your personality could be absolute garbage.
Yeah.
You could be a raging biatch
Yeah.
and be drop dead gorgeous Miss America, So I think that personality can really carry a person, especially in my own dating life, where it's like, I love a great dad bod here and there. You know what I mean? Like, give me the fluff,
Totally.
Like, gym bro, that's fantastic and great, but like, I think it comes down to personality, because you want not only your cast, but you want yourself to be able to bring your person around somebody. And if they're like a musclehead and totally sweet and cuddly and cute, like, your friends are going to like them. And I think that's important, to have the people that you surround yourself with like the person that you're with.
Totally. Or else it like sucks. I've been there.
No, but also I want my friend. I want you to be like, hey, is Connor coming? Or hey,
yeah, like I want
like,
that, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
yeah.
It sucks when like your friends or family or the people you're around don't like the person.
Exactly.
Especially in our situation.
I know.
My family's always around. My mom's right here, right?
I know. Puts a damper on things. Jesus.
Yeah, I've dated some Labubu's. I feel like most of the guys that like when I'm down bad and you're with me, like they're Labubu's. But can I tell you like a hot take I kind of have?
Yeah, go for it.
And I know this is going to sound fucked up. Maybe I should take a sip before I say it. It's going to sound fucked up. I feel like you can't, sometimes when you date like guys that aren't that attractive, it kind of gets to their head a little bit. Like it almost gives them like an ego hit, and they get ahead of themselves.
Sometimes the guys that are not as attractive in your view,
correct,
are just very much like, they do take that to the next step, where it's like, well, I could find someone better, which at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of guys do always look for the next best thing.
They really do.
They want someone younger, fitter, or all of these things. Fitter a word?
It is now.
Okay. Fitter. They want somebody that's different, but then they don't realize that the best thing that they had was the previous.
100%.
That's why guys circle back.
That's why they always come back.
They all circle back. They all circle back. But you can't let that be, because the reason they're circling back is because they know your boundaries are low.
I literally said that the other day. I was talking and I was like, they don't come back because they've changed. They come back because they know you haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They know that if you accepted his behavior the first time, you're going to accept it again.
And they'll do it again and again.
Again, you can't fix a man that doesn't want to be fixed. Therapy.
Like, remember, we'll bleep his name out, but remember the ex-wife?
Yeah.
You came around and around.
Asked you to move in with him. Like,
oh, that was crazy.
And then started taking family portraits. Like, what?
Listen, that man.
Como se dice, make it make sense.
That was crazy. You were there though when that fell apart.
I was.
All we had to do was bring up his age and it was done.
Oh my God, it was over. Like, that man could not handle that age throw. Whereas, like,
bring up that in his hairline. Game over.
Your frontal lobe is fully formed. It formed like 10 years ago. Okay, like,
did it though? We're not sure.
I couldn't tell at that point.
All we had to do was bring up the age.
The age was a big hit.
Isn't that a funny thing about LA though? I feel like the people here, the older they get, the more like out of touch they get, and like more like they're Peter Pans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think also
crazy.
with dating apps, you see that a lot. Like, I'm 43, not looking for anything serious.
What?
Okay, well, and then to find out you've never even been close to marriage, that is a red flag.
That's a red flag. I think you are single when you're in your 30s and 40s for two reasons. Either you're picky or desperate. You know what I mean? Like,
but also I think that when men say women that are single for a certain amount of time are red flags or damaged goods, I think that they get confused with women that know more what they want, what they're not going to settle for.
Yes.
Well, let's not use picky. Let's use selective.
Okay, selective. Is that like more like politically correct?
No. I just think it sounds better. Whereas be like, you're picky. I'm selective.
Okay, selective.
I'm selective with my time. I'm selective with who I surround myself with.
Yeah.
As Taylor Swift says, your energy is a luxury.
I loved that, by the way.
So, yeah. I just feel like that's important. You have to protect your peace. Like,
I feel like we need like a Travis Kelce to our Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? You could tell he just like admires her.
The Heisman. I thought that was a dance move all of college. I didn't know it was an actual trophy. Go sports.
Listen, I don't know sports either, but I think I knew the Heisman Trophy. But that's okay. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so moving on from the Labubu's. By the way, did you bring your Labubu?
No, I didn't. I forgot him.
You don't have
Her.
it? Oh, it's a her.
365 Brett girl.
Does it say on those, by the way, if those are...
No.
Okay, you just made it up.
I think they're theys.
Okay. Okay, moving on from that, I want to talk about you now, okay?
Oh, gosh.
I know. I want to talk about you now. What is your favorite part about casting dating shows?
Oh, my God. I love casting. Number one, it's my favorite thing to do. I think to be this in the position that I'm in, you have to be passionate about people. And I'm passionate about myself. So I love being able to share experiences. But casting dating shows are just so much fun because I may not be able to relate to you fully, but what we can all relate to is relationships, whether it's with people, whether it's with dating. We can all relate to heartbreak. We can all relate to being disappointed. We can all relate to being in love at one point, whether with ourselves or with someone else. And so I just find it so interesting because I feel like I mentioned before, is that the things you feel insignificant to yourself, they're significant to people that don't experience them. And sometimes relationships, you really get to feel and understand the strength that people have of what they're in, the situation at their time. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you could get serious and be like, people that have gone through terrible situations of whether it's abuse or being left at the altar, or which I've spoken to people who have, where it's just like you really are able to kind of see them recognize their strength and recognize their growth within a simple conversation.
Yeah.
So I love casting dating shows. I love casting all types of shows, but dating is just so much fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like you get to really kind of see inside like people's thought process of why they choose the people that they choose, or why the people that they're with, they spend so much time with, you know?
It's like psychological.
It is. And also it's like with people that are like in relationships for 8 years and she's like, I'm waiting for him to propose. He's not going to propose.
Right. And isn't it funny? Then you see those same people, like they break up after being together a decade or whatever it is, and the guy will get married right away to someone after like a few months.
Because men are intentional.
Right. Right. Isn't it crazy? Yeah. Kind of going into that, I'm going to kind of like digress for a minute. Do you believe, I was asking someone this last week, do you believe men put women in one of two boxes when they meet them? Either like basically someone I'd commit to and marry versus like someone casual, or like someone I'm not going to make my wife one day?
Absolutely. Just as on the second date, men know right away.
I think so too.
That's just, I do. I think men know. Men know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know when a man is interested in you.
Yeah.
With the amount of effort he puts in.
Yeah.
Flowers, something as simple as flowers, or making plans, being like, I'm going to pick you up at this time, like be ready.
Yeah.
Surprise dates.
Totally.
You can tell men are intentional.
Yeah.
And you notice when men stop.
Yeah. And that's the worst feeling.
Do it quick. They do it quick.
Don't you hate that feeling? It's harder with social media now.
It's disappointment.
It is. It's disappointment. And like you can see what they're doing. Like they might not be answering you, but they're like still posting. You know what I mean? It's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate that.
It's frustrating.
I feel like there should be a word for that, but I don't know what it would be.
I don't know.
Should we make it up?
Yeah. I'll cheers to whatever you say.
A Labubu man.
Yeah.
There you go.
A Labu bitch. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so back to dating shows. Do you believe that people go on these dating shows to actually find love, or are they on there for like clout or some sort of ulterior motive?
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to decipher until they're actually on the show, because the audience will be the one to clock it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And also at the same time, the person, depending on what the dating show topic is, whether it's a one-on-one, whether it's, not seeing somebody or anything like that, like you can tell. You can tell immediately.
Yeah.
If someone's there, if they're constantly talking about themselves, not asking you questions, like that kind of stuff. And that also goes into your everyday dating life.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I feel like the people that are like become so like, look at with what show was it that was it Love Island that was on with Huda?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like I feel like people become so engaged with it that they almost feel like they're in the relationship too. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm obsessed with Love Island.
I didn't watch this season.
Get
Can you
out.
believe it?
Get
Can
out.
you believe it?
I'm obsessed with that show.
I
I'm
know
obsessed
everyone
with the
is.
cast.
Everyone is.
Nick and
Everyone is.
Alandria. Oh my God, my heart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Isn't that? It's crazy. So, okay, getting more personal. You're from New Jersey,
I am.
but you've been in LA for 10 years
A
now?
decade. I made it past the 2-year curse.
A decade. That's
And
crazy.
5 years.
That's crazy.
It's not for the weak. I will say that.
No, it's not for the weak. So, okay, you're from New Jersey and you've lived in LA for 10 years. Do you think there's a difference in dating? Like I always talk about like geography and dating, like differences in people or experiences and that kind of thing.
I think it's the same. I think
Really?
I do. I think New York is so fast paced, but also when I was living in New York, I was married at
Yeah.
that time. So it was like I didn't give New York the proper love story at what it deserved. So dating during that, it was just very much like hyper focused on one person, but experiencing my friendships and observing my friendships of their dating life. Yeah, it was fast paced. It was like a calendar. Who am I seeing tonight?
Yeah.
I think LA is a little bit more like New York. I felt like was more job focused of like, what do you do? Like all this stuff. LA is
Yeah.
also that, but it's also about looks.
Yeah, totally.
Men want a type that to fit into that box. They want that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 100%. There's like an aesthetic they're trying to like.
An aesthetic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's, like,
No
a
knock
line
towards
there.
any of that, but it is.
Yeah, that's so true. So, okay, with that, what do you think is like the hardest part of dating in LA for single women right now?
Everyone's looking for the next best thing. That's what
They
it
really
goes
are.
for. LA is so fast paced, but also at the same time, people I feel like care more about what you do than who you are. How can you benefit? How can they benefit from you?
Yeah.
How can they benefit from your time? You
Yes.
know, can you tag me? Here's my hashtag. As opposed to people giving you your phone number, you're giving them their Instagram.
Yeah.
So I think it's very much so that's how I view dating in LA. I
Like
feel
opportunist. There's a lot of opportunists.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like any person that I've spoken to in the past, it's very much the same. So, you know, it's just an observation.
Yeah. No, that's so true though. So true. And I feel like I've experienced that in dating here. And you feel like the person is always like talking to 10 other people. Maybe it's just like modern, or I don't know if it's an LA thing, but
I think people are just keeping their options open in a
Totally.
sense where it's like, well, who else can I attract? Who's there for sex? Who wants more relationship? Who's going to give me the most attention?
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of stuff.
totally.
Put in boxes.
Boxes, checking off the boxes. So, okay, now you were in a relationship,
Yeah.
and while you were in that relationship, you were casting for a show.
I was.
You were casting for a show, and while you were interviewing a woman for the show, you found out she was seeing the same person that you were in a relationship with.
Yes.
Can you kind of get into that and tell us that story and just like that whole experience and how you felt when you found out?
I was in a relationship. I was literally married.
I know. I didn't want to say it.
You know, we'll say relationship for sure. Yeah, I was casting a dating show. I had just moved here. I was casting a dating show. It was LA based, and I had this wonderful, beautiful woman on, beautiful like inside and out. Don't, you know, not knocking anything. And you know, we got into the questions of like, tell me about your dating life. You know, what's the vibe? Are you dating anyone? Are you on apps? Yeah, I met somebody. You know, we'll say he's Spanish. I don't know. Well, he's French. Okay. So we'll just say he's French. Yeah, you know, he just moved from Paris, not Paris. He moved from Brooklyn. And I was like, oh, no way. I moved. Yeah, great. Common thing. Well, as soon as she was like, yeah, he's French. And I was like, French? I was like, okay, well, we live in LA. Like people are from like middle of nowhere, usually like different states where it's not like France directly.
Yeah.
I've never met somebody from like, you know, from a different country here at the time when I first moved here. And so I started curating the questions a little bit more like, what does he do? Like, is he, you know, what's his job? Oh, he works in production. Things started to kind of click a little bit where it's just like, this is weird. So then I curated the questions a little bit more where it was just like, oh, I bet you he's so French that he has like a bulldog, you know, French bulldog named Lola, like a showgirl. And as soon as she said yes, I had mentioned his name. And I had to stop the interview and just kind of keep it professional, where it was like, I'm gonna have to give you to a different producer. This is now conflict of interest, but keep going. Like, your energy's great. And I think finding that out with a job was kind of like a shell shock at first, but I mean, also it kind of catapulted my divorce. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I think like finding that out through a job, my occupation, it was definitely something where I was like, you have to hold it together a little bit. But what are the odds?
I don't know how you held it together. Like, did your heart just sink into your stomach when like she kept going and like answering the questions and you're like, it was like revealing that this was your husband? I would have been sick.
I think it was more so kind of like, thank God.
Yeah.
You know, it had gotten so bad where we were just not compatible people at all, that it was just so toxic that I think like it was like something from like, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, now I have a reason to like fully check out, you know?
Yeah.
So I think also I was emotionally checked out at that point.
You're probably numb too. Like when she said it, were you probably not even like fully digesting it?
I don't even remember how I felt. I think I just kind of was still in work mode.
Which
like,
is crazy.
Yeah, like I have to give you
you
to someone else at this point.
I would just like can't believe that though. I mean, that is so crazy. What are the chances?
What are the odds?
Like out of all the shows, all the casting producers, and you get that girl. But it's like you said, it's almost like the universe is intervening. God is intervening and like showing you like it's time to walk away from that person.
Literally. I've never become more spiritual after that, where I'm like, give me my tiger's eye. Like, give me that amethyst right now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I feel like there's actually like so many signs that we tend to ignore. We turn like a blind eye and we're looking at the person in rose-colored glasses. And you look back when you finally do move on and you're like, it was all the signs were there.
Well, because you date the potential of someone. You
100%.
date the idea of it as opposed to dating the reality.
Yeah, 100%. I do it all the time.
Same.
I'm still doing it.
Delusional.
This is why
I'm delusional, but it's a healthy version.
This is why I'm 31 with a podcast and not 2 kids and a husband, right?
That's okay. In this economy, it's rough out here. Diapers are expensive.
Okay. Based on your experience casting these dating shows and just meeting so many people, like I feel like you've met so many people from so many different walks of life, and they're all there for like relationships and love, right?
Yeah.
What is the best dating advice you have for people in modern dating right now?
Like going, like if they're down bad or if they're just like modern dating, like allow yourself to be happy. You know what I mean? Even if it's temporary, allow yourself to experience people, allow yourself to experience things, because don't let one negative experience change the way you view your own happiness, your own value, your own worth. And I also think that anyone that is going through a breakup or a relationship that ended, I think you should allow yourself to grieve that relationship, allow yourself to express yourself. Because another fun thing is that you existed before that relationship happened. You're going to exist after. So I feel like people should give themselves more credit, whether you're allowing yourself to grieve, whether that's going out with your friends, going out to dance in WeHo, you know, and shake the vibe, listen to Lady Gaga, you know, or cry to Taylor Swift. I think that you have to allow yourself to feel those feelings in order to move on fully.
Yeah.
So
100%. 100%. It's crazy too when you think about it. Like to your point, you forget that like you lived like, well, I'm 31. Like you lived like 30 years without this person.
Yeah.
And you're going to be fine without him, too.
You'll be fine without him. You're going to be great. And the breakup glow up is amazing.
Oh, it's a real thing.
Yeah, get some celery juice and a matcha and you're vibing.
And if you glow up that hard after dating someone, like they probably weren't meant for you. You should be
weren't.
hotter with them.
Yeah, agree.
Right?
Agree.
Right?
You're the prize.
That's right. I love it. And you have to go like pour yourself a dirty martini.
Yes, pour yourself a dirty martini, a naughty little martini.
Remember the time we were out in Laguna Beach?
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Those martinis? Who was I down bad? I think it was about Matthew.
Yeah.
Right? That was diabolical. I must have just been like ovulating or something.
Diabolical.
Like,
that was so diabolical. That was like Pearl's clutch flabbergasted. Like that was, I mean, it brought me into the ocean.
It literally brought you into the ocean. It was like
fully dressed.
4 or 5 martinis deep. Under the moon in the ocean.
Yeah.
That was so fun. Wasn't
Eating
that great?
taquitos.
Honestly,
yeah.
the best part about, I feel like breakups and like when you're going through those situations is like the debrief after and like the stories with your friends.
Oh, for sure. It's
Are
the
we in our
couch
Sex
talk.
in the City era?
Oh my God, slay. Obsessed. I'm probably Miranda.
Or like Samantha? Are you Samantha?
Oh, I don't know. I love a good cooter clap.
But you're also so logical like Miranda. Like Miranda is logical, and I feel like you give very logical dating advice.
I think it's just observation, experience, and talking to so many amazing people
Yeah.
in my career.
Yeah.
16 years of conversation.
That's a long fucking time.
It's a long time. But cheers to stories. Cheers to versions of people. Cheers to journeys of strangers.
Right? Right.
I love
Seeing
it.
where they end up. I love it. Okay, so ending on this, where can everyone follow you?
Oh, on Instagram. If
And
that's
TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Well, TikTok is just funny stuff. But Whoa There Cheech is where you can find the casting calls of shows that are currently casting. All the fun stuff. But yeah, Instagram where you can message me and find out more shows or what's up.
Okay, so follow Whoa There Cheech. What's your TikTok too? Your TikTok's fun. It feels like a close friends list on Instagram.
It's the Sizzler.
The Sizzler.
I know. Back in the day, like over 15 years ago or more than 15 years ago, like, yeah. Well, maybe during like high school, end of high school.
Oh my God.
I lit a cigarette and lit my bangs on fire and they called me the Sizzler.
Shut up. That's what that name. I think you told me that.
Yeah.
I think you told me that. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for coming today, Cheech. This was so much fun. We've been talking about this, I feel like, for months.
I know.
And, right?
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. This
with
was
your
so
Love
fun.
Sex LA audience.
Of course, of course. Thank you for giving us some practical advice. Will I take it? Debatable, but I'm going to try.
Maybe after the martini, you'll take it.
Or no,
Or
bad
messy
things.
text. Messy
Bad
text.
things happen after the martinis. Oh my God. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this week's episode. We love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clink.